here last week. It helped me feel much better. I got bit by a dog a month ago, and with the dog bite and the reaction to the medications, I've been in bed for about 4 weeks. So I'm much better now, but it did set me back on the grant proposal. My voice is the only thing that hasn't come back well. So first I'd like to share with you a little information about what I've learned about the windows since I've been looking into it. The first thing that isn't obvious right away, but it should be once you know it's very obvious, we have 2 different kinds of windows here. We have the stained glass window up front, and then we have the painted windows on the side. The first stained glass artisan who came to look at the church thought that these stained glass windows on the side probably were not original with the church because the colors were different, the glass was thinner and such. But since then I've checked with several other authorities and they say yes, that the stenciled patterns on these side windows are typical of the mid-1880s, which is when the church was built. So we had thought that if they were not original, we would not include them in the grant, but they are original, and some of them need quite a bit of repair. The white spaces are places where the windows apparently have been broken out. And it looks like they've been moved around because the patterns in each set don't always match. So we want to include them in the grant as well. The grant is administered by the Historical Society of State of South Dakota, and they use funds from the Deadwood Fund. A certain amount of money from gaming in Deadwood is set aside. It's $100,000 a year they have. They give it away in 2 cycles of $50,000 each. And they like their grants to be from $1,000 to $25,000 so they can spread the money around a little bit. One cycle is due on October 1st, and then the other one is due February 1st. For October, they make the decision in December for work to begin in January. And for the February deadline, they make the decision in April for work to begin in May. So that's the one we're aiming for, is the February one, so that the work can be done during the summertime. Can you all hear me okay? I'm really sorry, my voice is not as good as it should be. Anyway, so we're working on getting the grant for applying by the February 1st deadline, hopefully for next year. The Brown County Historical Society, which owns the church, is a nonprofit organization. The nonprofit organizations are not required to provide matching funds with the grant. For example, if you had requested an $8,000 grant, then everyone except nonprofits are required to match that with money. Nonprofits are also allowed to match up to half of the grant request with in-kind work. So I've been trying to figure out what we can do here with our volunteers and ourselves that would count as in-kind work. Nonprofits are not required to match at all, but it's strongly encouraged. They look more favorably on grants that have some matching funds or in-kind work with them. And if nonprofits do not provide matching funds, they're required to explain why they think they should get a grant without matching funds. So they don't make it easy. So one of the big things I'm working on is trying to figure out what all can we do here that would count as matching funds. We could, of course, we can take, when they start removing the windows, we can take the plexiglass off, we can clean up the sills. When they're through, we can do some painting and finishing and things like that, but that's not as much as we would like to. So I was trying to think, the one thing I thought of, on these small windows, we might be able to look into removing those ourselves, because the expense for removing the windows is quite large. Of course, the big window out front, we would never attempt to do anything with that. But these little windows are only 11.5 inches wide and 23 concrete 24 inches high. And I was talking to one of the artisans who came to look at the windows. I asked him, how do you remove these windows? He said, well, with the small ones, what we do is we carefully sandwich them between layers of duct tape. And, you know, one person on the outside, one on the inside, and they put duct tape on them. And that holds them in place while they remove it, and then they take the duct tape off right away and clean it up. But I was kind of looking at the windows. I need to get some expert opinion from someone who is knowledgeable about construction. I personally am not. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever told anybody around here this, but I actually flunked out of the Carpenters Union apprenticeship program a number of years ago, so I'm no carpenter, but I'd like to get the opinion of someone who knows about these things to see if that's something we might be able to do. It's kind of hard to tell how much it's going to cost. I've photographed all the windows and sent them to about 3 or 4 stained glass artisans to get a preliminary idea. One came back with a pretty complete estimate, and it was about $8,000 for the reletting of all the windows themselves. That's the main part of the project. The other parts of the project would be removal of the windows, closing them up so the weather doesn't get in while they're being worked on, taking them to the studio, disassembling them, taking them apart, and then reletting the whole thing. The Deadwood Fund and the State Historical Society and the National Park Service all have requirements for when things are restored with grants through the Historical Society. And they require that you take the whole window apart and relet the whole window. You can't just patch it up a little bit. It has to be taken apart and relet it. They have these guidelines exactly what you have to do. So anyway, there one proposal estimate came. These were not bids yet. They were just kind of general ideas for what we might expect to pay. Came back about $8,000, and I actually was able to take the figures from the Brown County Courthouse window that was recently redone, and I figured out how much per square foot it cost them to relet. And it was interesting. It came out just about the same as that estimate for that the one artisan had submitted. There are 10 of the pointed windows, top parts of those windows that need to be redone, and 3 of the bottoms, 1, 2, must be another. Oh, and then the vestibule, yes, in the vestibule. 3 of the bottoms. And the price for reletting all of the small windows is just a little less than the price for reletting the one big window. That's the main part of the project is the window. The windows were made way back in 1883. They're 184. They're 130 years old now. The lead between the pieces of stained glass dries, and then it cracks, and the glass begins to sag. If you look carefully, there's one window back there, especially where you can see the curve is almost a good 1.5 inches, 2 inches off of vertical. So they all need to be redone. At this point, we're not planning to have the white panes filled in with the other, but the main purpose now is to preserve what's here. There's the big window and the small windows that are here. And maybe sometime in the future, if we can raise enough money, we could fill in the small windows too. So I guess, does anyone have any questions about this at all?
What is the estimate cost in doing all of the windows?
Say it again.
What's the estimate cost of doing all the windows? What projections do we have right now for that?
The projections I have for the costs are for the reletting. And then one artisan who was here said he didn't have the capability to take the window out, so he would contact a professional glass installer and get an estimate. So I did the same thing. One of the Aberdeen had them come and look, and their bid was just about floored me. Actually, it was $11,500 to take the windows out, transport them flat within a 50-mile radius of Groton, and then pick them up when they're reletted and put them back in. And they estimated $11,500 for that, which I thought, which got me thinking about what can we do to, to cut that cost down. But that really is a very high estimate, and he did say that depending on how things go, it might be just half that. But 5,000 is still pretty high. The one most complete estimate that I got was $2,700, $2,750 for removing all of the windows and putting plywood in to protect the building while the windows are gone. So that $2,755, and then to reinstall them after they've been reletted would be $1,655. So $2,757, just about $4,000 seems the taking out of the windows and putting them. So the $4,000 and that's without doing the painting, which I think we could ask volunteers do the painting after they finish. So it looks like it's going to run somewhere between 13,000 and maybe more. So it's very hard to say. I don't want to say at this time because all of these estimates are some of the people who are giving the estimates have actually come and looked at the windows. Some have not. They aren't regular bids all to the same specification. So it's really hard to tell. The process is that we write up the bid specs so that all the bidders will be bidding on exactly the same thing. And then they submit their bids. And we have to submit at least 3 bids with the grant proposal or explain why they haven't submitted 3 bids. So once the work starts, they have a year to finish it, but we would probably require less, so we don't want it to go into the winter time at all. Any more questions? Well, if anybody knows anybody knowledgeable about construction that can help me determine whether the taking out of these small windows is something that we could undertake, I'd appreciate you letting me know.